Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. Today I wanted to share a few games that really broke my heart after I played them or while I was playing them. I know it's a little strange to say, well, why would you play games that make you cry? But the thing is, these games made me feel something, and I never stopped thinking about these three games. Also, the Life is Strange games, I've already mentioned, those were my favorite. Those also would fall under this category. But since I did a whole ranking video on that already, I decided not to include them with this video, but these three here I do want to talk about. Also, before I forget, I forgot to mention, please check trigger warnings before going into these games because a lot of the content that is in these games are pretty heavy, and you should always take care of yourself first. So with that being said, the first game that I want to talk about is called What Remains of Edith Finch. This game was developed by Giant Sparrow and published by Annapurna Interactive and was released in July of 2017. So I don't think I mentioned, but all these games are first-person narrative, so you're playing in the point of view of somebody and you're seeing their perspective. And in this particular game, you're playing as a 17-year-old girl named Edith Finch who is returning to her house after 7 years of not being home. And the house belongs to her family, and it just has generations and generations of family members being cursed, and she is the only surviving member left of her family. I mean, that in itself is already a very gruesome and dark beginning because you're a 17-year-old girl going to your house and there's no one left but you. The gameplay is pretty simple. You're going through each of the family members' rooms in the house and you're learning about how they were cursed and what happened to them. But yeah, I don't want to give away too much because it's a game that you definitely have to play yourself and experience yourself. It's a very dark, haunting game, like I said. Some of the stories I had a hard time just getting over and getting past because they were just so dark. But the mechanics of the game are pretty easy. I didn't have any difficulty with any of it except for one little slight challenge, I would say. I think it's her older brother's stage where he's like in a factory or something. That stage took a little brain power, but other than that, it was pretty simple. I will never forget this game ever in my life. The second game I want to talk about is called Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Now, this game was first released in August of 2013 and it was developed by Starbreeze Studios and published by 505 Gaming. And then it was re-released in February of 2024 and developed by Avant Garden and published again by 505 Gaming. So I did play this game when it first came out in 2013, and as far as I can tell, it's exactly the same story because I did play the remake as well. I was actually looking at my games in Xbox and realized that I didn't have this game because I actually borrowed it from Microplay. That's how long ago that I played this first one. Borrowing games from Microplay was just a vibe back then. I used to love borrowing story games. I never really bought any because you could just borrow them and return them. It was just so simple. Multiplayer games made more sense for me to buy back then because those are games that you can just play ongoing, whereas story games you play once and you kind of just return. Unless they do a remake and then you find yourself playing again. I am sorry, I am going on a really long tangent about nothing. So getting back to the game, this game actually opens up very gruesomely because you're playing as the younger brother and you're visiting your mother's grave. And you find out within the first 5-10 minutes of playing the game that the mother actually drowned, and yeah, it just starts off very sad. And then 5 minutes further, you find out that your dad is really sick and he can't get well because the medicine that he needs is far, far away at this tree. And it's just like everything is just in despair. So yeah, it just starts off really, really sad and heavy already. I still remember playing this again, the remake, and just seeing how different the graphics are and how beautiful it looks. It just looks so much clearer and so much better. Technology is truly amazing. One of the unique things about this game is the mechanics of how you have to control the brothers. You use the right side of your controller, so like the trigger and the toggle for one of the brothers, and then you use the other side for the other brother. So it is kind of neat how the mechanics work. That's actually what the microplay guy said. He was telling me how it went, and I was like, that does sound kind of interesting. So in the story, you need to go get the medicine for your father, so both you brothers need to go and travel really far, and that's basically what the game is. You're just following them on their journey, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see the relationship between the brothers and just them taking care of each other. It's everything about this game is just so heartwarming, but of course with it comes some sad components that I don't want to talk about, and I will not give away in this video. I do want to talk about this opening scene. They have to climb this wall, and there's this stupid kid right there. You see him on the top. He is just a little jerk in the beginning. I hate him. But yeah, this game is definitely an experience, and I really hope that more people enjoy it and more people play it. The third and final game that I want to talk about is called Copycat. I did play this past summer, so I did have it in my July or August. I can't remember which one. But again, this one did get me in the feels. So this game was developed by a company called Spoonful of Water, which is actually just two people, I found out. And it was published by Nuvim. I think I'm saying that right. I think I'm saying it right, and I'm saying it wrong at the same time. Don't ask. Nuvim Neverland Entertainment, and it was released May 2025. So the reason why I know it's two people is because after seeing this land acknowledgement, like this Native First Nations respective land acknowledgement in the beginning, I needed to find out who the developer was because I just have so much respect and gratitude for them, including that in the beginning of the game. As a First Nations woman and a descendant of residential school survivors, I have so much appreciation for that. You have no idea. And although that is not in Canada, I think it's in Australia, it's still great to see that we're making waves all over the world and we're actually moving forward and not backwards. So getting into this game, I do want to mention this is their first game that they've ever created. They said they were involved in other projects, but this is their first game that they released themselves. And knowing that, I just feel like that's pretty amazing because I did enjoy this game a lot. I personally love cats. I had a cat, but then I found out I was allergic, so I can't have cats anymore. So this is the closest way that I can be to a cat without breaking out in hives and stuff. Anyways, in this game, you are following the perspective of Dawn, a shelter-adopted cat, and an elderly woman named Olive. And honestly, I thought it was just going to be like a feel-good game where you're just vibing and playing as a cat. I didn't really think there was going to be a lot of heartbreaking stuff in this game. Like, there was more than I thought there would be. So yeah, I was a little taken back by that, but at the same time, I do appreciate it because a lot of the stuff that they touched on is just very deep and stuff that needs to be spoken about. One of the topics that they talked about was neglect. So when people adopt cats and dogs and give them as Christmas presents, say, like how the kids play with them for a while, but then they get tired of them and they don't really take care of them because they don't actually want them deep down inside. I don't know. So yeah, I feel like this game challenges that in a way, and it just had me questioning people's morals and what they think is right, and because it doesn't just follow this cat's perspective, there's also another additional story that kind of goes along with it. And by the way, when I first played this, I took a very long time trying to pick which cat I wanted. I just wanted them all, but you're only supposed to pick one, so I think I picked the black one. I actually got very sad when I saw that striped one because that's the kind of cat that I had to give away because of my allergies, and I miss her so much. Pets just become a part of your family as they should be, because when you have a pet, you need to just treat them like your family. So yeah, you do get to play as a cat, which is one of the cool things. The mechanics in the game is you do get to play in the perspective of the cat, which is what I was mostly looking forward to. I just went into this game wanting to fight dogs and stuff, just wreak havoc in the world. And you get to climb things. You actually do get to fight other animals a little bit, so it's fun. You also get to meow. You can meow. I hope I convinced you enough to play this game. Just you can meow. That's it. That should be enough for you to play this game. It's not a happily ever after ending, but is a pretty semi-sweet ending. So yeah. Once again, I'd like to say thanks for stopping by. And if you have any recommendations for me of story games that just are sad, or even just story games, I'm always open to story games. That's what I love to play. Please let me know. Thanks. Bye.